Happy Tuesday, North Central Washington. The 16th day of January 2018 is upon us. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am John Jacob Jingleheimer-Schmidt. To my left, John Jacob Jingleheimer-Schmidt, our news director.
What do they mean when they say bright-eyed and bushy-tailed?
I don't know. What does that mean?
I guess that's what we are, though, aren't we, on a Tuesday
Certainly
morning?
bright-eyed. I feel fine.
I don't feel too bushy-tailed, though, today.
The team is back together again for the first time in a while because you were sick and Kat was busy, but we're back. Dan Kuntz, Steve Herron, news director, Kat in control.
The A-team.
The A-team will be by tomorrow. Great show for you today. Marcus Bingham is I almost said passed out in the green room. He's not passed out in the green room. He is patiently standing by in the green room. Marcus is directing the Music Theater Wenatchee's production of Death by Design. It opens on Thursday of this week at the Riverside Playhouse in downtown Wenatchee. We'll have a conversation with Marcus in the second half of the show. We want to start out on this Tuesday morning at just right out of the box at 7:01. We have some news, some rocks on the road, Steve.
Yeah, that's right. This is on Highway 97A north of Wenatchee at the Knaps Hill Tunnel. We understand there's a pretty significant backup in traffic there because, as normally happens during the rains, we get a little sloughing off at the slope there near Knaps Hill Tunnel, and that's brought some rocks down onto the roadway, and that's blocking traffic right now. We understand the DOT has dispatched some road clearing crews to head out there and get it cleared up. But for now, you'll want to use Highway 97 Douglas County instead as your alternate route.
And that, as you mentioned before, it seems to happen after a significant rain, and it's not really raining that hard, but it's raining enough.
Yeah, and it's bringing down the rocks onto the roadway there, and so you'll want to watch out for that and along that entire corridor between Knaps Hill Tunnel and let's say Rocky Reach Dam. So that's usually a traditional area where they have problems with the rocks.
Speaking of dams, they used to have that same problem at Rock Island Dam as you started to head up that deal, but they took care of that a few years ago. They went out and blasted a bunch of that loose rock away, and it doesn't come down much anymore.
And they put some of that sheeting up too to help kind of stop that from happening. But yeah, so your commute between Wenatchee and Chelan may be a little slow today, but encouraged to take that alternate route on Highway 97 instead of 97A this morning if you're in a hurry.
Steve will have more news here in just a couple of minutes. We got sports, big bowling match this afternoon at Eastmont Lanes. The undefeated defending state 4A champion Eastmont Wildcats will take on the Wenatchee Panthers, who won the state championship 2 years ago. And they're going to do battle, and the winner will win the Columbia Basin Big 9 regular season title. We'll be there with our cameras.
A bowling powerhouse.
Yes, right here.
Cool.
Right here in little old Winnetachie Town, USA. We have the Obscura Holiday. We have Today in History. We got birthdays to get to. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNaught's opinion. Mike came in and did a really good show yesterday with the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation. And afterwards, he recorded some brand new opinions for us.
Oh,
so,
good.
We won't be having those until for another couple of days. It takes some time to put them all together. So some topical commentary from Michael, some new stuff coming your way, maybe as soon as tomorrow. Are you ready to go around the valley with our Valley View cameras?
Let us take a look, see what we can see at this early hour, huh?
Yeah. That is...
I think that's Maple Valley, isn't it?
San Francisco, 1942. I think the cross
camp. North
camp.
Korea.
Yeah, oh, that's North Korea, yeah, because they don't pay the power bill. I believe that's probably the cross cam. We usually begin with that. Yeah, that is the cross cam. So somewhere down there is the Wenatchee Valley. We're there. It's very cloudy, very foggy, and some light rain coming down. But the rain's supposed to taper off mid-morning. By 9 o'clock, we'll be done with the rain, and then we just go back to the clouds and stuff. So
kind of melting off the snow, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All that's the only snow that is still around is where it was all piled up in parking lots.
May see some standing water in some places, as a matter of fact.
I'd be surprised. Camera number 2, we'll find out together, Steve. That's downtown Wenatchee, of course, on the roof of the Cascadian, looking to the south. That's one of the few cameras that's going to let in enough light so we can see what's going on. But the days are getting longer. In fact, sunset today is at 4:50.
Oh, okay.
So by this time next week, sunset will be just about 5 o'clock as we get deeper and deeper into winter. So good morning, Wenatchee downtown proper. Camera 3 is number 1 Canyon. Now that's a pretty good idea of what we're dealing with the fog and the clouds. And this is the phenomenon, Steve, that we're used to. You can't really see it when you're right on the valley floor near the water, but if you get up high enough, you can see that layer of fog. And what happens is the water temperature of the Columbia is warmer than the air temperature. And so you get that. That's what happens there. It will burn off as the day progresses. And finally, camera number 4 is beautiful Leavenworth. That's Leavenworth.
Steve. Oh, Leavenworth. I'm thinking about this Tumwater. Yeah,
yes, no, that's Leavenworth, who, by the way, I understand is having a big festival this weekend of some kind or another. I don't know. Good morning, Leavenworth. It's good to see you on board. The Australian store is closing. Their last day of business is today.
Who is?
The Australian store in downtown Leavenworth, where they
did
had
not
all that
know.
Australian stuff, the hats and the
kidding.
clothing. Yeah, they're closing up.
that's too
And I
bad.
believe my sources tell me that today is their last day of business. So, one of the more
interesting.
popular stops in downtown Leavenworth. So,
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the reasons. I'm just letting you know that you could probably get whatever's left in the store. You might be able to pop up to Leavenworth and grab it before the Australian store closes up.
No more shrimp on the barbie, huh?
None for me, I just ate. It's 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. Here is your forecast, and it looks like this. The whole rest of the work week, the word we're going to use, Steve, is unsettled. This is the first of a series of frontal systems that are paying us a visit right now, which is why we have some rain. Again, the rain should be done in about an hour or so, by 8:30. Rain is expected to taper off, and then we just deal with clouds and some light fog and a high of about 40 degrees. There's a slight chance of snow tonight, 30% chance of precipitation. Could be a little bit of rain, could be a little bit of snow. Whatever it is, we're not going to get much
I
of
was
it.
going to say no accumulation.
No, not at all. Overnight low 31. Wednesday is when another system comes in, especially Wednesday afternoon. So we could get a half an inch of snow on Wednesday, Steve. There's, again, only about a 30% chance of snow on Wednesday, spilling into Wednesday night. Thursday we catch a break, and then another system pays us a visit on Thursday night into Friday and into the weekend with a kind of a rain-snow mix possibility. Look at Friday's overnight low.
temperatures, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Our normal afternoon high for this time of the year is 34 degrees. So all of these afternoon high temperatures that you see are above normal until we get to about Monday or so. So again, rain-snow mix possible. Whatever we get is not going to accumulate very much at all. It's more rain than snow, and they're pegging the chance of any kind of precipitation at about 30%. So just kind of January weather. Although the La Nina pattern that they predicted when they did their long-term forecast for winter hasn't really panned out.
No, it hasn't.
They said it would be just like last year, and it hasn't been just like last year.
Nope.
So go figure. And that's not like the National Weather Service. Their long-term forecasts are usually pretty
It's like
accurate.
medicine. They practice meteorology, you know.
Yeah.
Law, and medicine, and weather.
Medicine and weather, that's right. You keep practicing, but you never quite get it right. Let's do your pass report from the Washington State DOT. Up to I-90 we go, where they have no advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is bare and wet. You mentioned standing water. They got a little bit of standing water on I-90. No problems at all. 35 degrees, no advisories, no restrictions on Snoqualmie Pass. Stevens Pass looks dark. There's Stevens. They have a traction tire advisory on US 2. There is some frost and some slush and some ice with a rain-snow mix currently coming down on Stevens Pass. Again, a traction tire advisory there. The Blewett camera is down, so I'm not going to show it to you, but I will tell you what it is. It's a traction tire advisory on US 97 Blewett. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. Blewett is getting snow. So it's snowing on Blewett. It's a rain-snow mix at the summit of Stevens and just raining on I-90. No advisories or restrictions on Snoqualmie. Stevens has a traction tire advisory. Blewett has a traction tire advisory. A couple of inches of snow today, Steve. No snow tonight, and then 1 to 3 inches of snow on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, we talked about that next frontal system coming in, where we're going to get maybe a little bit of rain here in the valley floor. Passes are going to get quite a bit of snow Wednesday night, spilling into Thursday. Overnight, Wednesday night, 3 to 7 inches of snow, and then Thursday, an additional couple of inches of snow.
Okay.
So that is your forecast for the mountain passes.
Problem area traffic-wise, though, again, to repeat, Knapp's Hill Tunnel, US Highway 97A. That's where they have walks in the roadway right now, and crews are en route to try to clear the roadway, but right now, a pretty significant backup in traffic there heading out of the tunnel. They can't even get into the tunnel right now.
Oh, wow. 9 minutes after the hour on this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz alongside Steve Hare. The news is 1 minute away. We are broadcasting live from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
It's happening now at Wenatchee Valley Mall. PetSmart has come to town and they're throwing a great event. 3 great events to be exact. Stop by January 20th starting at 9 a.m. and enter to win prizes, coupons, and free services. Join Pet Perks and be entered to win a $250 PetSmart prize package. PetSmart has just what you need with hundreds of exclusive products for your specific pet needs. And leashed pets are always welcome at PetSmart, so stay tuned for all the PetSmart grand opening events.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning and welcome to the 16th day of January. Steve Hare with your NCW Live News on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Here's what's happening today. New drone video shows a crack on Rattlesnake Ridge in Yakima County continues to grow. A slow-moving landslide threatens that area. The video that we've been getting from Stephen Mack, originally reported by the Yakima Herald, was shot on Sunday. Here's the latest we have. The crack was first observed in October. It's now grown to about 20 acres in size. Slide is moving at about 1.6 feet a week, which has been consistent since December 20th, according to a Washington Department of Geological Resources spokesman. Yakima County and the city of Union Gap have declared a disaster, but state geologists say they don't expect a landslide event until sometime between late January and early March. Steve Hare, NCW Life News. Wenatchee's ethnic diversity was on full display over the past weekend as dozens of people turned out for the annual Cultural Diversity Fair at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. NCW Life's Jay Seebeck covered that event for us.
While today is the day that we celebrate and honor the accomplishments of Dr. King, the Wenatchee Valley Museum got this celebration started early on Saturday. To start the event, the museum hosted the annual Civil Rights and Social Justice Awards ceremony. Prominent members of the community were in attendance, as well as many interest groups that aimed to share culture and bring people of all walks of life together. City of Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz had this to say.
I'm just starting my 7th year as mayor. I have yet to miss one of these events. This is an important day in our valley, as we have every single year. Our city takes it very seriously that we are trying to be as inclusive as possible, that we recognize our differences, we try to celebrate those. Our Diversity Council does a wonderful job of making sure that we keep our eye on the ball. And we are not perfect, but we work really hard to try to make sure we are as inclusive and welcoming as possible, and that we celebrate all different cultures and religions in our valley. So it is an honor and pleasure for me to be here today. I do know the nominees are incredible and very special, and every single Martin Luther King Jr. weekend is special for me and our city as we celebrate all of those that do such great work in our communities.
In addition, Jesse Cohen was honored with the award for individual activism.
Really, this award is for my children and for your children. I thought today that I would share my dream with you. And my dream is that one day there will no longer be a need to celebrate leaders of civil rights and social justice, because those words and ideas will be a part of the fabric woven into all of our communities across this nation.
Additional awards for civil rights and social justice were given to Rufus Woods of the Wenatchee World, the YWCA of North Central Washington, and McKenna Schaub for the Youth Award. Stay tuned to next week's NCW Life magazine for the full episode on the Civil Rights and Justice Awards. I'm Jay Seebeck, NCW Life News.
Thanks for that, Jay. And other happenings around the valley, a film that revolves around the revival of a traditional canoe journey on the Columbia River before the construction of the Grand Coulee Dam will be screened this afternoon at Wenatchee Valley College. The film, titled United by Water, is being shown at the Grover Recital Hall by the college's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The doors open at 3:15. A discussion with the producers from the Upper Columbia United Tribes will follow. The film includes archival footage from the Ceremony of Tears, which was a final gathering at the historic fishery, again before the Grand Coulee Dam was constructed. Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center continues its environmental film and lecture series tonight with the screening of a movie titled Switch. Now, this film is based on a man's journey around the world and learning about all the different forms of energy we humans use and what will be used to shape our future. In fact, here's the trailer from that film.
Energy powers our lives. Everywhere we live, everywhere we go. Everything depends on energy. But everything is changing. Oil is running out. Or is it? Coal can be clean. Or can it? Renewables will power the future. Or will they? I'm Scott Tinker, and for 10 years, I've been searching for the truth about our energy transition. So many challenges.
Fresh on the minds of people, of course, is the Deepwater Horizon accident. You look on the news and there's people talking about fracturing. They're looking at it in Washington.
We have 600 million people in this country without access to electricity. Can you imagine? That's 2 United States.
And the only way to find the solution is to go out and get it.
For the first time ever, these landlords have an opportunity to receive a regular paycheck.
And of course, when the wind does not blow, we generate nothing.
But the benefits of new energies come with challenges of their own.
We can make ethanol. It's a no-brainer. We know how to do that. I can't tell you for sure that we can do it economically.
And one of the great challenges then is scale.
Scale is exactly the challenge because we use so much energy. It's mind-boggling.
We will see a gradual electrification.
Whoa!
But where are you going to get the extra electricity to run all those electric cars?
It was only by relearning everything I knew about energy that I would find the answer. What will it really take to go from the energy that built our world to the energy that will shape our future? Switch.
Again, fascinating film called Switch, and you can see it tonight at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. It's free to the public. And bring the kids because they have a special Lego make and take there as well for tonight. So bring the kids and they'll have fun. You can enjoy the film and keep them out of your hair and make them productive for the night. You know?
It looks fascinating.
It is.
It really
it's a
does.
fascinating film, and certainly thanks to the museum for exhibiting it.
We invite you to watch our evening newscast at 5, 6, and at 10 o'clock every weekday. Of course, Grant Olson is off today, so Eric Granstrom will be handling the anchor duties, but we're gathering news anyway, Grant or no Grant. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. Your evening news, and at the bottom of your screen, Steve, is all the way people can get a hold of us.
That's right. Many, many ways you can get in touch with us. If you have breaking news to share with us, if you see something out there happening right now and we need to know about it, call us on the hotline. 888-NCWL, the number to call. Or you can contact us about a possible story idea, maybe an issue or a topic you'd like us to cover. You can do that by email. Our address is news@ncwlife.com. You can also contact us on our Facebook page, and always follow us on Twitter.
We first reported at the start of the show that they had some rocks on the roadway in US 97A just below the Knaps Hill Tunnel. That was first phoned in at about 6:45. So my guess is it's been well over half an hour. They might have actually got there and got them all cleaned up at this point.
Well, actually, it was about, when we first started, the crews were saying that it would take them about 25 minutes to get out there.
Okay.
So they may be on scene right now clearing that from the roadway, but again, until that time, expect some delays on 97A. 33
degrees with some light rain in downtown Wenatchee. The rain tapers off here by the middle of the morning. Then we just deal with clouds and fog and a high near 40. 20 minutes after the hour, just about, give or take a couple of seconds. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays, and everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. And then my interview in the second half of the show with Marcus Bingham, who is in town directing Death by Design. It's a music theater of Wenatchee production. It opens at the Riverside Playhouse on Thursday. Marcus will be in just about 20 minutes or so. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Granstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter And like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Live channel.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and a lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do the job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Tuesday, the 16th day of January 2018. Let's do sports. We're going to take you all the way back to December. That's when Wenatchee and Eastmont did battle at Eastmont Lanes. Both teams at the time were undefeated. It was a back and forth affair. The match was determined really in the second game, came down to the final bowlers on each team. Wenatchee's Taylor Bitterman and Becca Maines from Eastmont. Our cameras were there. Eric Granstrom and Paul Paiva had the call on the NCW Live channel.
She didn't wait at all. She wanted to go.
Oh,
and she
there's
got it big time.
Wow.
Taylor Bitterman trying to pick it up. She does.
She
Nice
does.
pickup.
Still not over.
8:02
to 8:15.
Goodness. Becca Maines, second ball in the 10th.
Coming up high. She covered
look
again.
at this. What an answer.
Okay, so in order to, wow. Yeah.
Taylor Bitterman.
Eastmont just stole this game.
I think they just did.
Well, neither team has lost since, and now today at Eastmont Lanes, it comes down to this match to determine who wins the Columbia Basin Big Nine. If Eastmont wins, they win the title outright. If Wenatchee defeats Eastmont, the two teams will share the Big Nine title. Eastmont is undefeated, 11-0 in Big Nine play, 13-0 overall. The Panthers have won 6 straight head-to-head matchups. It'll be great. Our cameras will be there. Looking forward to it. The showdown begins, by the way, at 2 o'clock at Eastmont Lanes. And again, our channels will be there. We're going to tape it, and we'll bring it to you on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Also on the prep schedule today, as you see on your screen, Eastmont is hosting the Red Hot Moses Lake Chiefs at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll have it live right here on the NCW Live channel. Eric Granstrom on the play-by-play. Moses Lake has only 1 loss in head-to-head matches this season in 7 outings. That was to Chiawana a week ago. Eastmont, meanwhile, has been dealt 2 close losses in a row. They lost by just 5 points to Davis earlier in the month and by 2 to West Valley last week. Also in wrestling tonight, it's a double duel at Chelan. The Goats will be hosting CTL rivals Okanagan, Cascade, and Omak at 6 o'clock, and there are a couple of doubleheaders in prep basketball tonight. Cascade travels to Okanagan. The girls get going at 5:45. The boys follow at 7:15. Aniat will play host to Cascade Christian tonight. The girls at 6 and the boys at 7:30. The Wenatchee Wild, after splitting a pair of weekend games with West Kelowna, are on the road. They're in Merritt tonight. They snapped their 4-game losing streak with a 6-0 win on Saturday. Wenatchee could use some good ice time at the Centennials. The Wild come in tied for 3rd in the Interior Division of the British Columbia Hockey League. They have 56 points. They're tied with Trail behind first place Vernon and second place Penticton. The Vipers, by the way, with their 61 points, they lead all of the BCHL. They've already clinched a playoff spot with 15 games to go. They'll drop the puck at Nico Valley Memorial Arena tonight at 7 o'clock. And our NCW Live Channel sports calendar for the week. Take a look at it. As we mentioned it, live wrestling tonight, Moses Lake at Eastmont at 7 o'clock. More wrestling tomorrow night at Wenatchee High School as the Panthers will host Ike at 7 o'clock. We'll be back to hockey Thursday, hockey night featuring the Wild in their game against West Kelowna from last Friday. And then on Friday, a double dip in basketball. Wenatchee will host Eastmont in their 3rd meeting of the season. The girls at 5:45, the boys at 7:30. Between games, they will have the Wenatchee Panthers annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and we will carry it live right here on the NCW Live channel. So we invite you to tune in. If you can't make it to the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium and watch some high school basketball on Friday, you can watch it right here 25 minutes after the hour. 16th day of January, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The obscure holiday of the day today. Today is National Nothing Day. It's National Nothing Day, and it's a perfect day for it. It's a Tuesday. It's the middle of January. It's a good day. It's a day to celebrate nothing. It's an unday, a non-event. So it's a day to do nothing. And there are people, experts out there, sociologists and stuff, who say there's nothing wrong with doing nothing. I wouldn't do nothing at work. I would expect you should be productive. This holiday was created in 1973 by Harold Coffin, who was a newspaper columnist, who said we needed a day to celebrate nothing, and today is National Nothing Day, which on this program is every day. 25 minutes after the hour, 26 minutes after the hour. Let's do Today in History. 99 years ago today, the 18th Amendment to the United States was ratified, which meant 86 on the booze. I'll read it to you directly. This is Section 1 of the 18th Amendment. After 1 year from ratification of this article, the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors within, the importation thereof into, or the exportation thereof from the United States and all of its territories subject to the jurisdiction thereof for beverages prohibited. So it was ratified, didn't go into effect until the next year, the 18th Amendment, and then they got smart, and 13 years later, Prohibition went away. But the 18th Amendment, not one of my favorites, was ratified on this date in 1919, 99 years ago today. One of the legendary concerts in all of music history took place 80 years ago today. The legendary Benny Goodman and his band performed at Carnegie Hall in New York City, January 16th, 1938. This is Carnegie Hall. We don't do jazz. Jazz is noise. No. This was the first popular music concert ever held at Carnegie Hall. It was 80 years ago today. It's considered by many people the single most important event in the history of jazz because it introduced a whole bunch of blue noses to the great music of jazz. The album itself was one of the very first albums ever to sell 1 million copies. The album from the concert didn't come out until 1950, 12 years later, because it was a long concert and they had no way to put it on albums because albums didn't exist. The legendary Carnegie Hall concert with Benny Goodman. I listened to it over the weekend. It's so good. Happened on this day 80 years ago. This is the anniversary of Super Bowl VI, the first of the Dallas Cowboys' 5 Super Bowl titles. Happened on this date in 1972 when the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Miami Dolphins. The Miami is the only team, by the way, not to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. They lost 24-3. Every team, winner or loser, since Super Bowl VI has scored at least a touchdown. Miami wasn't able to do that off. As I mentioned before, it was the first of 5 Super Bowl titles so far for the Cowboys. And it was in New Orleans, but it was outside, not in the Superdome, and it wasn't built yet. It was 39 degrees at kickoff, so it was the coldest Super Bowl ever. Remember when the Seahawks defeated the Broncos in New Jersey a few years back, and they thought that would be the coldest Super Bowl ever? It was, outdoors in the Northeast in February. It was actually warmer at kickoff for that game than it was for Super Bowl VI, which happened on this date in 1972. Now, to this date in 1980, after landing in Tokyo before a tour of Japan, Paul McCartney, his wife Linda, their family, and his band, the Wings, Japanese custom officials went through Paul's suitcase and discovered 8 ounces of marijuana. It's enough marijuana that he could have dispensed with the plane altogether. In any event, he spent 9 days in jail, Paul did. He was finally released. He wasn't charged with anything. He was deported back to England. Basically, the Japanese said, you learned your lesson. Paul could have been sentenced to 7 years in prison. Paul McCartney's famous Tokyo drug bust happened on this date in 1980. And finally, at 29 minutes after the hour, we got birthdays, including a historic birthday. Gentleman's name is Frank Zamboni. Guess what he's well known for? Yep, he founded the Zamboni Company. He was an ice guy by trade. He was in the ice business, but as the 40s became the 50s, he realized that people don't use ice boxes anymore. I better find another thing to do, but he knew all about ice, so he invented what we now know as the Zamboni, the big machine that goes out and polishes the ice and shaves the ice and makes it all clean. Zamboni, the Zamboni Company, is actually a privately owned family company. They've cranked out about 12,000 Zamboni machines over the years. People call them Zambonis, but the name Zamboni is actually copyrighted. It's patented. There are other companies that make the machines that the Zamboni Company first patented, but who's kidding who? The Zamboni is the way to go. Frank Zamboni was born in this state in 1901. He passed away a very rich man at the age of 87. A.J. Foyt, Anthony James Foyt, the legendary American race car driver. There he is. He's 83 years old. Today, he is the only person to win the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, the 24 Hours of Daytona, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. He is the only person to accomplish that feat, and of course, he won the Indy 500 4 times. A.J. Foyt is 83 years old today, and the best first baseman currently playing in baseball today, Albert Pujols, is 38 years old today. With 14 seasons of 100 or more RBIs, he is tied for first all time with Alex Rodriguez. He was a three-time National League MVP with the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, of course, he's a member of the Los Angeles Angels and a future Hall of Famer. Albert Pujols is 38 years old today. It is 31 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. It's about ethical decisions. You'll find out what's on Mike's mind here in just a couple minutes. And then Marcus Bingham will be joining me. He is directing Death by Design, a music theater of Wenatchee play production, which will be opening at the Riverside Theater in downtown Wenatchee on Thursday night. Marcus will be in next when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Dr. Ron Singleton. See how Ideal Protein can help you.
I started Ideal Protein about 10 months ago. I'm down 123 pounds and a little over 50 inches.
Using Ideal Protein, I've lost 37 pounds in just 10 weeks.
I lost over 52 pounds in 4.5 months on Ideal Protein.
This has been a wonderful journey. The food is great and it's a very easy program to follow.
This medically designed program has repeatable, safe, and effective results. Call us today to schedule your weight loss consultation.
Alone, it can be hard to reach our dreams. It can feel like you aren't welcome anywhere. When no one's there to clap, taking on the world by yourself. But when we come together, when we lend a helping hand, when we set the stage, when you support causes you care about in your community, lives are changed. You make a difference in someone's life when you give. Imagine the impact if everyone in our community gave 10%. 10% makes a difference.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, serving all of North Central Washington. We make it our priority to learn all about your financial needs. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or want a reverse mortgage, our mortgage professionals are ready to guide you through the loan process. We have a wide variety of loan products to fit your family's needs. Call Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee today for your pre-approval. 509-888-0466.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, some years ago, I was confronted with an ethical issue related to my business. Now, this was an issue I knew I was going to face sooner or later, and I had been prepared for it. So my decision about what to do was made before the issue presented itself, and as a result of my decision and my commensurate action, my business was significantly impacted, and let's just leave it by saying the impact wasn't positive. Well, I did the right thing. And despite the result, I'm proud of that. And I reminded myself of something I often tell others. Just because you do the right thing doesn't mean the rest of the world is going to like it or cooperate. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Hi, this is Carl.
And Kathy from East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet. We are excited to be a part of this wonderful community and look forward to meeting you at East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet.
Our store is filled with name brand products at bargain prices at 40 to 60% savings. We have a large selection of natural, organic, and specialty foods.
Stop by and meet Carl, the wine guy, on Wednesday.
East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet, where you can win what you saved. Stop by soon.
So, how you guys doing?
My job starts in Portland in a month.
Can we find a buyer that fast? I think we're good. Our CBX app tells us who the best potential buyers are. We can pinpoint where the hottest prospects are located, right on this map.
2 cities over.
It even lets us set the most accurate price.
Wow, it really does all that.
It really does all that.
Well, help us pack?
We're working on that.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99, it's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works, yourworkoutrx.com.
37 minutes after the hour on this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It opens at the Riverside Playhouse on Thursday, the 18th, and it runs for pretty much the rest of this month. The play is called Death by Design, and the director of that very play is here in our studios. Please welcome to the program, Marcus Bingham. How are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here. Before we talk about the play, which looks fascinating, I'm looking forward to seeing it. A little bit about Marcus. Tampa to Southern California to Seattle to Leavenworth. That's about like that. How did that happen?
Yeah, it's a long haul. So my wife and I moved from Tampa to Southern California many years ago, and worked there and did theater there, did some TV stuff and film work in LA. Got fed up with LA.
No.
Yeah.
That's the first I've ever heard of that. This is a stunning breaking news we have here, ladies and gentlemen.
Traffic is, it just inches, so, and that's just the part of it. But I got into kind of interactive dinner theater while I was down there, and I wrote some plays, and my wife and I decided we wanted to produce our own plays, and we were looking for a city to do that in, and we ended up in Seattle, which we had visited and loved in the past. And we ran our interactive dinner theater company in Seattle for about 9 years.
And then the traffic got bad in Seattle.
Well, I've been down there recently, and it's way worse than when we left 10 years ago. Okay. It's amazing how bad it is. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah, we love living in there. We were done with the big city. And we just ended up in Leavenworth. And from there, I went back to school and got my degree, and here we are.
Was that a challenge at your, I won't say how old Marcus is, I know, but I'm not going to say. Going back and getting your degree this late in your professional career, that takes some guts, some chutzpah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. I mean, why did you decide to go back and get your degree?
Well, we had finished with the theater, and that was right during the recession, so jobs were skinny. And I decided to go back to school and, get my degree. I always wanted to get it. And my focus was to get my degree so I could teach. And I wanted to teach specifically college. So I got my degree, actually got an AA from Wenatchee Valley College, transferred to Central, and graduated with an English writing degree in 2011 at age 50. So
now we know
now
how
they
old
can do the
Marcus
math
is. Yes,
and
we do the math.
figure it out. Yeah, and then after I graduated, I was looking for a job, in Central Washington. We wanted to stay in the area. And oddly enough, Wenatchee Valley College hired me. So we moved back.
Oh, good, good. And now you get that beautiful facilities to work with at the college, and they have a whole new, the infrastructure for theater at the college is really nice now, so much better than it used to be.
Yeah,
so they've given you some nice tools to work with.
Yeah, there's plenty of, resources. We tend to do really low-budget productions. The best theater we have down there now is the Grove, and we like to use that when we can. Mm-hmm. And then, Riverside Theater offers a lot of challenges, the way it's designed, and it'd be the first time I've directed a show at that venue before. So
the first time for music theater, period, right? I mean, you directing a show for music theater?
That's right.
How did you get the gig? Who approached who?
The theater at the college is undergoing some renovations, so I was looking for a place to have the play. And my good friend Cynthia Brown, who you may know,
very well,
said that I should propose the winter show. They didn't have a winter show, so I should propose the show. I've been working on this for over a year. And I wrote the proposal up. I went down there and I pitched it, and they accepted my proposal and gave me a budget.
Oh, cool. Way to go, music theater. Way to go.
So, yeah, it's very cool, and it'll be the first time working with Music Theater of Wenatchee in any capacity for me. I've done some work in the past for Leavenworth Summer Theater, and I know a lot of the people, at Musical Theater of Wenatchee through that, and of course at the college.
Music Theater of Wenatchee has a very good board of directors. There's not a lot of inner politics that goes on with that group. It's all about the art. They're passionate about music theater. They're good folks, really good folks.
Yeah, you gotta love theater.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, you shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. Death by Design. Why this particular play? You probably had a bunch to choose from. Is this one you could afford? I mean,
one of the reasons was budgetary concerns. Yeah. Absolutely. This is actually my master's thesis project for my master's degree at Central in theater production.
Okay.
So needs to be a big enough production to where I can get my degree. But I read a ton of plays, and I chose this one because it has 8 performers, 4 actresses and 4 actors. So it's a nice even split. And there's a lot in it. It's very funny. There's a lot of comedy in it. It's a murder mystery. It's kind of a style of drawing room murder mysteries in the style of Agatha Christie. Mm-hmm. So the set's static. It's just a single set. And decided to do this play as my project. So a lot of reasons went into it, but mainly because I've done comedy my whole life. I've written, produced, and directed comedy. All of the shows we did at our dinner theater were comedy mysteries. Mm-hmm. All the shows, all the plays that I wrote that were staged were comedy mysteries. I directed the Mousetrap, Agatha Christie's Mousetrap, and The Games Afoot at Wenatchee Valley College. So, I mean, it just fit.
Yeah, it seems perfect.
Yeah.
Now, do the professors at Central come up and watch one of these things, and are they going to be sitting in the back with a clipboard saying, "Good job, Marcus, here's your degree"?
Yeah, Tina Berrigan is head of the theater department at Central Washington, and she's my thesis advisor, head of my thesis committee, and she's going to be coming up on the final performance. And afterwards, about a month after the show closes, I go down and I do my oral exam, where I defend my project.
Okay.
So.
Are you nervous?
I don't know if nervous is the right word.
Okay.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're directing a play, so your basic job has been going on for the last few months, and then once it opens on the 18th, outside of maybe tweaking a few lines here or there, or maybe moving some staging around, your job basically at that point's done.
Yeah.
You're directing a live play. You don't stop in the middle of the play and say, "All right, Janet, do that line again." You can't, right?
No, when the show opens, the director turns the play over to the performers. The stage manager's in charge at that point, and the director's not needed anymore.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we want to talk about the cast. But real quickly, one last question before we take that break. This would have been a college production if the theater was not being remodeled and updated. So are most of the cast members college students? Is that what you're dealing with here?
I have two former college students, as you know, 2-year college, so they get out of there pretty quickly. And then everyone else is just from the community.
We will talk about the casting process, the cast itself, and a little bit more about Death by Design at the Riverside Playhouse. It opens Thursday. We're talking with Marcus Bingham, the director, and we will be right back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life channel.
Winter weather has arrived in the Wenatchee Valley, and it's no fun to be stuck outside in the cold, and your dog or cat don't appreciate it either. Paws and Claws Veterinarian Hospital would like to remind you that your pet is susceptible to hypothermia and frostbite just like you. After going outside, wipe off their paws to prevent them from licking de-icer or antifreeze. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. If your pet needs medical attention, call 888-PAWS or find them on 4th and Nile in East Wenatchee.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solely on Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCW Life, your local TV channel. Give Solely on Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
Hi, Brent Crowder here at Town Nissan. We've got exciting news for you. The all-new 2018 all-electric Leaf with 50% more range, lower price, and a car you don't have to wait for 3 years to get. This is the electric car you've all been waiting for. Come down and check one out at Town Nissan behind Costco.
And welcome back, and thanks for starting your Tuesday with us here at the NCW Live channel. Some fog, some light rain, and 34 degrees. Pretty cloudy, some light rain, and a high today of about 40. I'm Dan Kuntz. Marcus Bingham, the director of Death by Design, which opens Thursday night at the Riverside Playhouse. The casting, that's probably the most important thing of it all. You want to put the right person in the right role. Talk about the casting and how you decided who gets to do what for your little production.
Casting is always tricky. With a play like this, it's a very broad comedy, so there's a lot of physical humor. There's stage combat involved, so I needed people that could do the physical actions. I was also looking for people who could perform broad comedy. As you see there, Tamsin Reed, who's playing Victoria, is doing her interpretive dance. And then Bridget, the Krabby Maid, played by Terry Sloan, is kind of giving her the evil eye. There's a lot of movement and a lot of action involved. I also look for chemistry when I'm casting, especially between two characters. There's Tamsin again. Tamsin's a pretty funny comedian. She's you know, very good at the comedy and the physical comedy and character roles. And her character is this bohemian, artsy kind of British 1930s character. You see Skylar Tuthill in the background there lounging in his robe. He's playing Edward. And there was a lot of chemistry, and there's a lot of chemistry in the cast now. They've gelled very, very well.
Is all 8 members on stage pretty much the whole time? Or do they get a little bit of a break?
Well, the way it's pretty much structured after Agatha Christie's drawing room plays. So if you've seen The Mousetrap, the first act is kind of the introduction of the characters. They dribble in one at a time into the home in the country. And then at the end of the act, someone is murdered.
Right.
Act 2, everyone's pretty much on stage the whole time. The detective, which in our case is Bridget the maid, played by Terry Sloan, takes up the mantle of the detective. They're pretty much on stage until the very end when they kind of filter off.
Do you have any help in the casting process at all? Do you ask for input from other people, or is it just pretty much I'm the director, so I'm going to decide who plays what?
No, I'm the god.
Good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if the job opens up, let me know, yeah, because I got my resume up and ready to go. So, do you have a nice mix of novices and professionals, or not professionals, but people who've been on stage and are used to it?
Yeah, Carrie Novikov is fairly new to the stage. She's performed before. She's playing Sorrel. And Terry Sloan has done a lot of theater, but not for a while.
Okay.
Tamsin's done improv with me. We do a lot of improv at the college, and she's been in a few plays. And the rest of the cast, make sure I don't leave anybody out here. Ted Fredericks, Mandy Wickline, Max Reister, and J.J. Hernandez. They're all veteran actors and have done a lot of productions. J.J. actually has his BFA from Central, and he's helping me with the fight choreography as well.
The Riverside Playhouse is a very intimate theater, but it does have some challenges. Specifically, it was just a warehouse that was converted to a theater, so you do have some I don't want to say, well, you have challenges from an infrastructure standpoint, right, that you have to overcome?
Well, I think the biggest challenge for me was, if you've been to the theater, which I think I'm sure you have, it's a round thrust stage, which I've never before in my life seen. So it's not in the round. It is a thrust stage, but most thrust stages are square, and then it's got a back kind of behind the apron area. So it's got this round design, and when I went in there and I was thinking about how I was going to design the sets and all, the show has a lot of kind of, we'll say, sensual elements to it. The characters are very kind of, they're British and they're very kind of elegant. So I wanted an elegant design, and I thought, well, it's a round stage, why don't we just continue that roundness? So we've got a staircase, a spiral staircase coming down, a curved wall that goes back, and then from there we just decided how we were going to fill out the stage. So that's probably the biggest challenge for me. Also, the front row is like right there.
Yeah, you're right there, yeah.
In front of the actors. So staging it and just playing out is a little difficult. The actors had to get a little used to that.
I've gone to many plays at the Riverside Playhouse, and I don't like sitting in the front row. It's too close. But it's so intimate. I mean, you can sit in the back row. It's not even the back row. You're still only 25 feet from the stage. So yeah. it's a pretty intimate thing. So the casting's been great. The rehearsals have been going good, right? No problems with that. You mentioned the putting the set together. You can't put this together without backstage people, right? I know Milo's involved with some of the construction and some of the other people you want to mention.
Yeah, Cameron Curtis has been the greatest aid to me. He's my assistant director and a stage manager, but he has also helped me in every aspect of the set design, helping me paint, build the sets. He's been there quite a bit. Also, Mike McNabbit, sorry.
Mike knows who he is, don't worry about it.
Who is Terry's husband, has also helped with the design, and Cynthia Brown's our producer. And we've also got Arlene Francis, I can't remember Arlene's last name, is doing our props, and Vicky is our costumer. I know everybody's first name.
That's good enough, because remember, you're God.
That's true.
So you don't have to.
I should know everything. Well, it is National Nothing Day.
It is National Nothing Day, so
you know.
It is a whodunit, and which I love. I love the whodunits, but it's got a lot of comedy to it as well. It's not a traditional, murder mystery in that respect. There's some very funny moments and scenes, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy. It's joke to joke to joke to joke. So it's heavily influenced by Noel Coward. So there's a lot of witty dialogue. I mentioned Agatha Christie before, but then throw in the Marx Brothers.
So there's some physical comedy.
Quite a bit of physical comedy and witty banter. And you know, if you've seen the Marx Brothers, Groucho was always pitted against the wealthy dowager. So there's a little bit of that lower class, upper class conflict in the play as well.
As you mentioned, it's set in Great Britain in 1932 during the early days of the Depression. Is everybody speaking a British accent because of that?
Yes, except for Bridget, who is Irish.
Okay. Is that a challenge? I mean, some people can do a British accent. Some doesn't matter how hard you practice. You just can't get it.
Well, it can be a challenge, and it was a challenge for many of our actors. We actually got Michael Smith, who's one of the instructors down at Central Washington who specializes in dialects. He made the trip up and did a seminar with the cast, and we gave them materials and resources to study, and it's been amazing. From the worst accents you've ever heard to nailing it at this point. So it's one of those processes that you know, you go through over months.
As a director, do you have a style? Do you have is there a Bingham style that you have acquired over the years, or is there certain directors of these kinds of plays and productions that you try to emulate when you do during the directorial process over the last few weeks?
Well, I have a very extensive improv background, so people like Del Close influenced me in everything I do. And in directing, I approach it as a team project. So theater is the ultimate collaborative art. You can't do it without a whole bunch of people putting in a whole bunch of artistic effort.
For very little or sometimes no money.
True enough.
Yeah.
For the love of the art.
For the love of the art.
As many artists do.
Sure, yeah.
Right. You know, the cast is the cast and the crew are all artists that contribute to the production, and I take all the input that I can at first. And especially with a comedy, you want the actors to be a comedy. So when I direct, I let the actor make their decisions and then direct them where I want them to go and where I want them to be.
Everybody's ready for the 18th, right? You're ready to go?
We are ready to go, absolutely.
As a director, so the show goes on the 18th, will you be taking notes, and then the 19th you'll say this scene really worked well, but this line was supposed to get big laughs and didn't? Do you do little directing things between performances? Because you got a lot of performances. Or is it just this is it and we're going to go?
This is it.
Okay.
I turn the show over to the stage manager, Cam, and the actors. And so the show is now theirs. And pretty much from this point on. So we have a rehearsal tonight, and we have a rehearsal with an invited audience tomorrow night. And I may give them notes tonight. And that'll be it.
That'll be it. And then you're ready to go. Yep. A lot of performances, isn't there? I don't know if I have time even to go through all of these, but you guys, there's lots of chances to see this play, isn't there?
Yeah, it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 7:30 p.m., and then 2 p.m. matinees on Saturday this weekend and next weekend.
Kid-friendly? I need to ask that.
I would rate it PG-13 just because there's a murder. I mean, the language is fine. There's some innuendo, but not much. So family-friendly for sure.
Okay, and just real quick, we have got about a minute left, Marcus. For planning purposes, what's the time commitment for an audience member? A couple of hours, including the intermission?
Yeah, 2:15 is probably about how long the show runs.
Okay.
With the intermission.
With the intermission, cool. Yeah. Well, break a leg.
Thanks.
Break a leg, and congratulations on your promotion to God. That's pretty cool. I'd like to talk to you right after the show to find out.
Well, as I said before, my job as God ends tonight. I go back to being
just good old
Marcus.
Opening night is Tuesday the 18th, but as Marcus mentioned, you have a lot of chances to see it. It's at the Riverside Playhouse in downtown Wenatchee. Marcus, have fun, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.